monk arrested illegally in Bangladesh. Hindu monk arrested on false charges. Police crackdowns on Hindus in Bangladesh. I know, these questions paint a grim picture. As a matter of fact, if you see Bangladesh through the lens of the Indian media, that is all you get to see, especially after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, a pro-Indian puppet. In this episode of the Bengal narrative, I'll give you the facts from the ground that proves Chinmoy Krishna Das was not arrested illegally and that the sedition charges against him were not false. By the end of this video, you'll also realize that Bangladesh was and still is a land of religious harmony. Let us begin. The issue began on November 25th when Bangladesh authorities arrested former ISKCON organizer Chinmoy Krishna Das on sedition charges. His followers protested his arrest overnight. The next day, he was produced in Chattogram court where the bail was denied. The police dispersed the protesters and in the ensuing violence, a lawyer was hacked to death by the protesters. The question is, what led to all this? Chinmoy Krishna Das organized a series of Hindu rallies. He raised the 8-point demands for protection of minority rights in Bangladesh. That is noble and righteous, isn't it? But in one such rally on October 25th in Chattogram, his followers hoisted the Tiranga flag on top of the Bangladeshi one. The Tiranga flag is often used by activists of undivided India, the Akhand Bharat campaign. The campaigners envision a Hindu state comprising of India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and parts of Afghanistan. This was a clear insult to the Bangladeshi flag and the statehood. Therefore, a case was filed against the organizer. As Chinmoy Krishna Das was the main organizer of this event, he cannot avoid responsibility for this act, and therefore, the charge of sedition was valid. But the authorities did not arrest him right away. Chinmoy Das could have surrendered himself to the court and offer an explanation or apology in front of the judge, but he didn't do it either. Rather, 10 days later, his followers attacked a Muslim business owner inside his shop because that person allegedly posted something derogatory about ISKCON, a Hindu religious organization. When the police tried to rescue the businessman from his shop, they demanded to hand him over to the mob. But the police refused to do so, and they were attacked as well. The Hindu mob threw acid on the police forces. Later on, the police called for reinforcements and they were all rescued. Now I do understand that the businessman in question hurt the sentiment of the Hindus. Therefore, he must face punishment. But it has to be a legal process. How can you justify attacking his business, beating the police, and throwing acids? Is this what we expect from the followers of the Hindu religious organization, ISKCON? Then came the big surprise. ISKCON hosted a press conference where they distanced themselves from this attack in Chattogram. They also stated that few months ago, Chinmoy Das and 2 others have been let go from ISKCON because they violated the discipline of the organization.
We want to state this clearly. Several months ago, ISKCON Bangladesh has expelled the following persons: Chinmoy Krishna Das, Principal, Shri Shri Pundarik Dham; Leelaraj Gaura Das, Principal, Prabartak Shri Krishna Mandir; and independent member Gauranga Das. They have broken the discipline of the organization.
Now I do not have to remind you why priests have been let go from religious organizations for thousands of years. Yes, sex and money. It is either an unacceptable sexual conduct or the embezzlement of money that led to the downfall of many famous priests throughout human history. In another recent press conference, ISKCON Bangladesh clarified why Chinmoy Das was expelled.
We have our child protection team chairman present here. He will answer this.
Let me answer this. My name is Rishikesh Sabana Das, Child Protection Team, ISKCON Bangladesh. Some children have filed complaints that Chinmoy Krishna Das has done bad conduct with them. We strive to maintain international standards in child safety. We issued a letter to Chinmoy Das, but he did not cooperate with us in the investigation. That's why we had to expel him permanently.
We understand that Chinmoy Das was expelled from ISKCON for his misconduct. But it raises some new questions. Why did he refuse to leave ISKCON premises? Why did he continue using his connections to organize the rallies? And how did he manage to pull such large crowds? What was his charisma? Chinmoy Krishna was getting widespread attention from the Hindu community by claiming that Hindus are under attack since the fall of Sheikh Hasina's regime. He claimed that Hindus are no longer safe in Bangladesh. Is it the truth or falsehood? Before I say what I think myself, let's see what Thomas Kane from International Crisis Group had to say about this.
There have been attacks on minority in Bangladesh, but these were politically motivated.
Cannot trust a Caucasian male? Then hear it from an Indian female. Professor Sriratha Datta, an Indian expert on Bangladesh affairs, said the following.
These incidents have been exaggerated by the Indian media.
My turn. There's no denying that Hindus came under attack in Bangladesh. But so did the Muslims. In the aftermath of July uprising, supporters of the Awami League regime faced the wrath of the public. While most of them were Muslims, understandably, some of them were Hindus. These attacks were political in nature. Hindus in general have no problem going about their daily lives in Bangladesh. And moreover, these attacks are over. After the formation of the interim government, law and order situation returned towards normalcy. Do not take my word for it. Take it from an Indian Hindu who recently visited Bangladesh.
You've just returned from Bangladesh. I would like to know what is the current situation there. Has the interim government been able to restore normalcy?
I've been there for 20 days. I stayed mostly in Dhaka and Rampur, but I haven't seen anything chaotic.
Is it true that Indian news outlets are spreading misinformation on Bangladesh?
No doubt. Indian media outlets are exaggerating.
এমনকি পশ্চিমবাংলার প্রথম শ্রেণীর অনেক সংবাদ মাধ্যম টেলিভিশন চ্যানেল বলুন খবরের কাগজ বলুন তারা এমনভাবে খবর পরিবেশন করছে
I haven't been able to follow the news while I was in Bangladesh. But when I came back and saw the headlines here, they did not match with what I saw in Bangladesh.
আমি এখানে আসার পর বেশ কিছু সংবাদপত্রে হেডলাইন বা অন্যান্য জায়গায় যা দেখছি তার সঙ্গে বাস্তবের খুব একটা সত্যি কোনো মিল কিন্তু নেই আর কি
What about the attacks on ISKCON and minorities?
Let me say this. These tactics were used in the past also. There is a massive misinformation campaign which is designed with a purpose. And it benefits the ruling party in India. They have an agenda against a particular religious faith, and they don't hide it. If Bangladesh is unstable, they can benefit from an entire politics of vote. I have been there. I talk with a large number of people from the Hindu community. I even went to Kalapuja and Dhaka. I haven't seen anything troubling. If the situation was that bad, people would not come to the puja.
কোনো জায়গায় কিন্তু কোনো অশান্তি তো শুনুন অশান্তি থাকলে তো মানুষ সেভাবে পুজোতে স্বতঃস্ফূর্তভাবে থাকতে পারতো না আমি অনেক ফুটেজ আপনাদের দিতে পারি বা দেখাতে পারি যে সেখানে কিন্তু খুব মানুষ স্বতঃস্ফূর্তভাবে অংশ নিয়েছে
Would you still say Hindus are not safe in Bangladesh? Chinmoy Das's misinformation and false narrative campaign did not stop there. When 2 Hindu Bangladeshi children were killed at the border by the Indian Border Security Force, political parties and human rights organizations joined the Bangladeshi government by issuing strongly worded protests. Hindu Mahajot, a separate Hindu organization, also released a statement condemning the killings. But let's see what our Chinmoy Das had to say about this.
Today, many are shedding crocodile tears and chanting anti-India slogans because 2 Hindus were killed at the border. I want to ask, why did they go to the border? Let us answer that first. They wanted to get shot by the Indian Border Security Force because living here is nothing but a farce.
Living inside Bangladesh is so horrible for the Hindus that a 14-year-old Sharna Das and a 15-year-old Jayanto Singh decided to go to the border so the BSF can kill them. I'll give you a moment to process this. Let this thought sink in. How can a monk ridicule the loss of life, children's life, in such a way? And to what end? Border killing is a major issue that strains India-Bangladesh relations. Make no mistake, it is not like the US-Mexico border or the North and South Korea border. We are supposed to be friendly neighbors, Because British India was divided incompetently in 1947, the demarcation line goes through houses, farming and grazing lands. The border splits homes, siblings and the neighborhood, even the places of worship and burials. It is very normal for the locals to cross the border to bring back stray cattle or return home from farming land or to visit a relative or a friend on the other side. Indian border security forces often misidentify these innocent locals with smugglers and use deadly force to stop them. Although on several occasions India promised not to use lethal ammunition at the border, they never kept that promise. Instead of condemning the Indian forces for the killing, Chinmoy Krishna twisted the facts to shift the blame and agitate the Hindu population. In the same rally, Chinmoy Krishna mocked the religious harmony seen in Bangladesh when Muslims came forward to protect their Hindu neighbors from miscreants.
We've learned that madrasa students will guard the Hindu temples during Durga Puja. We cannot allow that. With this arrangement, the government has revealed the real situation of Hindus in Bangladesh. One can imagine how dire the situation is that people of other religious faiths have to come forward to protect the Hindus. We therefore do not support this. We thank the political parties that came forward to protect us. But we don't want to remain as the hen that is guarded by the cat.
The hen that is guarded by the cat. What a way to insult people of both faiths and ridicule the religious harmony in Bangladesh. Speaking of harmony, during the protest in Chattogram court, a lawyer was hacked to death by the Hindu mob. This was an acid test for maintaining peace, and Bangladesh has passed with flying colors. Bangladeshi politicians, religious scholars, and members of the civil society, everyone came forward with a message of peace and restraint. The same was seen in the aftermath of July uprising. We have seen leaders call for maintaining peace and harmony. We have seen Muslims guarding Hindu temples and homes. Can you still say that Hindus are not safe in Bangladesh? Chinmoy Krishna, a child abuser and so-called monk, does not represent the Hindus in Bangladesh. Of course, there are radical Muslims just like him, but the majority of Bangladeshi people are tolerant and peaceful. The radicals of both faiths are the true minority here, and they will never be able to break the harmony we have in this land. Chinmoy should face full force of the law. His child abuse complaints should be investigated thoroughly, and he should answer for agitating the Hindu population and disturbing the peace by spreading misinformation. Thanks for watching this episode of the Bengal Narrative. We'll meet again in future to discuss other topics. Goodbye.